thinking has never made anyone strong. This is my dimension, my festival. What matters is that you fight.
All right, it's my time. They'll see.
Try again.
This isn't over.
Oh, that's gonna leave a mark.
I won't give up.
Unlike the others, I practice something called reading.
This is gonna hurt.
Think you'll impress me this time?
Good luck.
You're looking fit. Good luck on your next attempt.
Divine intervention. I can help too.
You thought you were special? This place isn't meant for you.
SAVARA is an action roguelite where you fight against gigantic monsters.
SAVARA is based in the cosmos, so the Ankama Games universe, and especially in the dimension of the warrior god Iop.
All cowards.
Iops are warriors that are an archetype of fighters in the cosmos.
So you play as SAVARA. She is invited to Iop's festival to participate as one of the fighters.
The goal is simple. Win the tournament organized by the god of warriors. The winner will become a legend.
Here we go, just like in training.
The game starts with SAVARA already being in her first attempt. She will try to prove herself by beating the first few fights, maybe beat 2-3 monsters, and just ended up failing. But it's okay because the whole festival is not about being the best at first. It's about perseverance, coming back, improving in between, and trying to be the best at the end. Before SAVARA, part of the team worked on Waven from Ankama. And another part of the team worked on Crossfighter, our first game as Doryah Games. Well, the studio was built by just a small bunch of students working together.
We start as a team of 3. We were just looking for an internship at a studio. But instead, we've decided to create our own.
We were looking for an editor, which was Ankama Games, which we're now working with. And so we created our own indie game studio with our first project, which was named Legacy at the time, and which evolved into SAVARA.
Now, it's time for me to create my own adventure.
SAVARA is a game that changed a lot. At first, it was some games that were already a roguelite, but it was more turn-based with some ATB system. But it was also the idea of a gacha where you build up a whole team, get character after each run. After some time, we decided to take an approach where we mix up really the roguelite elements that you can find in ID's game, for example. And we tried to build a combat system that looks more like a Monster Hunter or a Souls-lite, which is more slow-paced than the nervosity that you can find in ADs.
So you don't need to actually be that fond of roguelites in general to get into it, as we've tried to make the game easy to learn and hard to master. The very beginning of the game is not that hard, actually, for a roguelite. It gets really much harder later on, but by then you will get a lot of stuff, a lot of equipment, a lot of new skills, and you will normally improve yourself quite a lot in the meantime. You go out to fight monsters, you beat them, you destroy some part of them, you get their loot, you try to go as far as you can, and at the moment you die, you get back to the hub, and then you can improve yourself by buying new equipment, new weapons, new armors, new skills. And by getting stronger, you can try to go just further and further beyond.
Here we go.
SAVARA is an action roguelite, animation-based, which means that you really have to learn when you can attack, how your attack works, and how the enemy attack works. So you have to learn their patterns, learn how to dodge, learn when to dodge.
We put some special care in making the animations really readable, especially the start of the animations, so that when you play, you can anticipate what kind of attack is gonna happen, and you can position yourself accordingly.
So during the festivities, we'll get to meet many kind of different monsters.
First, you have the Rhino Beetle, which are some beetle-like monsters, which are very heavy, very slow.
Cool Dragon are goofier and more unpredictable.
Then you have the Puginoko, which are some kind of boxer monsters, mushroom guy who try to hit you on as fast as they can.
The Orcarus are the more aggressive ones.
And last, you have the Ryu Salar, which are the dragons of the game, and you will be just ahead of big fireballs on your head.
For each family of monsters, we have 3 variations, from the weakest to the strongest, to the boss. What was important visually for us was to directly signify that this one is gonna be harder to beat than that one. So it goes through adding different elements on top of the monsters, making them bigger, more detailed.
Ouch! Time to go shopping.
There are 3 kinds of equipments in SAVARA. The first one being badges. These kind of equipments give you minor bonuses at first, but then you can upgrade them by doing some quests. So the second type of equipment is armor, which is a kind of gear that you unlock at the forge. There are 5 pieces of equipment that you can have on you. And last but not least, you have your weapons, which are the most important part of the gear. You can have up to 2 weapons at the same time, one active and one passive.
The game isn't just about actions, there is a tactical side to it. The key is weapon switching. Monsters have weak points and breakable parts, depending on where the player positions themselves and which weapons they use. You will feel stronger as you learn how to fight against them.
We tried to have some specific feature for the game. For example, you have the whole crafting system. You can build weapons, armors, but they all revolve around monster pieces. Depending on what pieces that you break on those monsters, you will be able to craft different kind of weapons and different kind of armors.
If you kill a lot of mushroom monsters, then you will get to craft the mushroom longsword.
At the blacksmith, you will be able to craft up to 24 weapons, categorized between 4 different types of weapons. And depending on what kind of monster parts you are using to craft them, they will have different abilities that will provide you as a player.
Both of your weapons will also have a pretty powerful special attacks that you will unlock by doing enough damages to monsters. Switching from one weapon to another allows you to use that specific attack from the other weapon. So don't hesitate to switch as much as possible.
During the runs, the God IOP will reward you with some blessings, being, for example, some thunder damage or maybe some explosion damage.
But these are the only kind of power-ups that you can't keep between runs.
Well, the main concept behind the environment was that we are in the God's dimension. So this is Yop's home. You can see in the first zone, it's a bit in ruins. There are some skeletons, there are some destroyed walls. After the first zone, you have a second one, pretty gardens, peaceful, and then the last one is Yop's palace, so it's luxurious.
The game takes place in Ankama's universe, known as the Cosmos.
It's about 1,000 of years divided in 4 ages. It's a big lore with complex connection. It's the foundation of every story we created. Wakfu series and Dofus MMO are the most popular IP in this universe.
You don't need to be a fan of the Cosmos universe to enjoy SAVARA. SAVARA is a standalone story that you can appreciate without knowing Ankama's other works. There are references and nods that fans will recognize, but don't worry, If you are new, you can jump right into it.
I'm Aina Doryah, also known as Koji. I'm a composer for video games. My approach has always been to blend Ankama's artistic direction with strong influences from Japanese video game composers like Uematsu, Mitsuda, Shimomura, Nishiki, Kondo, etc. During production, I asked myself how to musically characterize Savara. It's more about a feeling than a specific color that I wanted to convey. A feeling that immerses the player in the cosmos as they discover a new hero and another dimension. That's why familiar musical themes from other Ankama games were included, reorchestrated, and transformed to become an integral part of Savara's musical landscape.
For Savara, I wanted to bring a unique energy by blending two distinct sounds, the grand epic and the playful humorous. The dragons, for instance, required a massive, immersive soundscape to capture their power. We also added a fun twist. Take the Pyrex, for example, a hilarious mix of real chicken noises and my colleagues impersonating chickens. We had the privilege of collaborating with an incredible team of voice actors and actresses who really breathed their life into our characters.
Ce n'est pas toi qui allais m'arrêter.
Fight at my festival. Show me that one of you is worthy enough to take over from me.
So now we are in a run with a full build already chosen for our character, some blessing already chosen, and difficulty upgraded. So it means that you really see some high-level gameplay.
Sure, so here I'm going to fight these little monsters. I'm trying to kick their ass. So here I go for the perfect timing of my longsword, so I get upgraded damages on every single hit I do. I also have to hit without being hit, so I get even more damages from my draw blades.
And this build is already made to be really fast-paced because you are using dual blade, but there is also some specific badges and equipment that allow it to go even faster. Still, it is intense. It is really hard at some point. Now, we're just going to reap the boss.
Yep, second boss of the game. I start by dodging its fireball with the immunity of the dodge.
And there is a lot of effect adding up on this build, because really something that people have to understand when you see this is that it's not a 1 hour build. It's really a build where you have played something like 10, 15 hours, everything is maxed up, and you really have a lot of things adding up, so it's exploding everywhere, and it makes sense.
It's still pretty manageable once you've learned how the game works.
It's getting a bit less manageable, I feel like.
No, it's okay. I stun him, so I'm going to try to go for the kill now. But he keeps on dodging my ultimate attacks. Still, she's pretty low on life now. Oof.
So you are in
Well, so am I.
getting close.
And we got him.
Okay, so that's it. The playthrough for Savara.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching.
And we hope to see you soon.
And if you are ready to join the adventure, the game is available now on Steam and the Ankama launcher. If you are curious and love lore, we have also a collector edition. It includes a customizable in-game skin, the OST, and a webtoon that explores the origins of the game's characters. Thank you so much for your attention. We appreciate this moment of sharing with you. See you soon.
It's gonna take more than that to keep me entertained.